Hello, welcome to my tutorial on the Pokemon trading card game. We're playing on a board that I purchased. It's part of the Battle Academy. It's really nice because it helps you organize where all the cards go, and it also has a little description of what you can do on your turn in case you forget. So let's go ahead and get this board set up, and then I can describe to you what I'm doing as we get set up here. So first we take the top 6 cards off my deck, and we're going to make these the prize cards. And every time I defeat my opponent's Pokemon, I get to claim one of my own prize cards and put that in my hand, and I can use those cards. Once all 6 prize cards are gone, then I've won. The next thing you do is you take the following 7 cards and put those in your hand. Normally you would keep these in your hand and not show them to your opponent, but I'm going to go ahead and lay these flat so that you can follow along easier. And now it's time to figure out what my first move is going to be. In this example, we're going to pretend that I won the coin toss and I've elected to go first. So the first thing I need to do is check my hand and make sure I have at least one basic Pokemon in my hand. And if I don't, I would have to reshuffle my cards and begin again. But my opponent would be able to choose 8 cards instead of 7 to put in his hand as sort of a penalty for having bad luck. So I've got plenty of basic Pokemon to choose from here. And I can put as many basic Pokemon into the bench as I'd like. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slots on my bench for Pokemon. So I'll go ahead and put Indeedee in there, who's basic, Hatenna, Staryu. I've got another Hatenna, I may as well leave him there. And I have a Hatchram, and I would like to go ahead and evolve him from my Hatenna, but I can't do that on my first turn. I'll have to wait till my next turn to evolve Hatenna into Hatchram. So I leave that card in my hand. Also on my first turn, I can attach an energy. So I'll go ahead and attach this psychic energy to Hatenna. And then I'll go ahead and put Hatenna into my active spot. And the reason why I chose to attach the energy to a Hatenna and not to Indeedee or Staryu is because I have Hatchram here ready to evolve on my next turn. And once I've done all that, normally a turn ends after an attack, but I'm not permitted to attack on my first turn. Now it's my opponent's turn to go ahead and make his moves. So my opponent went ahead and took his turn as well. He set up his prize cards the same way, drew his 7 cards to put in his hand. He used his trainer card. This one's the supporter type. You can only use one supporter type per turn. Had this been an item, which I'll show you, I've got one of those, you can use as many of those as you want in a turn. But he used the supporter card, and in this particular one, he gets to draw 2 more cards. But if any of his Pokemon were knocked out during the previous turn, then he could have drawn 2 more additional cards, so a total of 4. But obviously this is the first turn, so he drew 2 extra cards. And after using the trainer card, he puts it in the discard pile. It looks like Chatot was the basic Pokemon he chose to put in the active spot. he attached a fire energy to it, and he's using the Peck attack. So the Peck attack requires 1 energy, and he's got that. So he does 20 damage to my Hatena. So I put my damage counters right on top of him so I can keep track of his health. And his health went from 60 down to 40 with that attack. All right, and after an attack, then it is now my turn. So you start every turn by drawing a card. Oh, interesting, I got the Hatterene. So that's a stage 2 Pokemon. That's very fortunate for me. I can't use him this turn because I first have to use my stage 1 evolution. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now and evolve Hatena into Hatchram. The damage counters go to Hatchram, and the energy that was already placed there stays there as well. So I'm going to go ahead and use my trainer card since I have one. And this one says each player reveals the top 3 cards of their deck and puts all the Pokemon they find there into their hands. Then each player shuffles the other cards back into their deck. So that card goes in the discard pile. Both my opponent and I will reveal our top 3 cards. And if I have a Pokemon, I get to keep it. But unfortunately, I did not draw a Pokemon, so I need to go ahead and put these back into my deck and shuffle them. And once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and do my attack. I've got 2 options here, but unfortunately I only have 1 energy attached to Hatchram, so I'm going to go ahead and use Calm Mind. And there it allows me to heal for 30 damage on this Pokemon. So not all attacks actually do damage to your opponents, this one just heals mine. So I'm going to go ahead and remove those counters, and then it's my opponent's turn. My opponent went ahead and took his turn. He used his Great Ball trainer card, and he was able to look through his top 7 cards, and he could take any Pokemon he found in there and put it into his hand. So he was fortunate and found Victini, which is a V Pokemon. Each deck has one of these types. They're very powerful, basic Pokemon. He retreated his Chatot, and it takes 1 energy to retreat. So he retreated that from the active spot. He had to discard that energy that was attached to Chatot. And then he took Victini and put him into the active spot. And then he used the Spreading Flame attack. Although it's called an attack, it doesn't actually do any damage to me. It attaches up to 3 fire energy cards from the discard pile to your Pokemon in any way you like. He only had 1 energy in the discard pile at this point in the game, so he attached that to Victini, and then he also attached the energy that was in his hand already to Victini as well. So Victini now has 2 energy attached to him, and now it is my turn. So you always begin your turn by drawing a card, and here I've drawn the Trainer Berry. It allows me to draw 3 cards, so I need that. I'll go ahead and use it, put that in my discard pile, and draw 3 more cards. I got another Hatchram, got an energy, which is great because I was out of energy, and I got another energy. Fantastic. So now I'm going to evolve Hatchram into Hatterene. Now I've got a stage 2 Pokemon active, and I will attach an energy to Hatterene. So Hatterene now has 2 energy, and I can use my ability. It says once during your turn, you may switch your active Pokemon with one of your benched Pokemon. If you do, your opponent switches their active Pokemon with one of their benched Pokemon. Well, actually, I don't want to do that right now, but that's an option. And just so you know, abilities can be played as many times as you want, depending on how many Pokemon you have with abilities, and they can be played even if they're on your bench and not in the active spot. But I'm going to go ahead and do the Psychic attack. It says this attack does 50 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. So it does 30 damage plus 50 for each energy attached to my opponent's Pokemon. And Victini currently has 2 energy attached to him. So I'm going to do 30 plus 50 plus 50. So that is 130 damage. So I put 130 damage counter on him. And his health has dropped from 190 down to 60. So my opponent went ahead and just took his turn. He played his item trainer card. It says it's the Evolution Incense, which allowed him to search his deck for Stage 1 or Stage 2 Pokemon. He selected Raboot and used Raboot and to put him on the bench because the Score Bunny was already there, so he's able to evolve. And then he went ahead and attached an energy to Victini here. And Victini used his Energy Burst attack, which cost 2 energy, but he had 3 energy attached at that point. And it says this attack does 30 damage for each energy attached to both active Pokemon. So there's 3 energy attached to Victini, plus the 2 that was attached to Hatterene, for a total of 150 damage. And Hatterene's health was only at 130. So Hatterene has been defeated. I go ahead and put Hatterene along with all the other forms of Hatterene, Hatterem, Hatenna, and the 2 energy. They all go into my discard pile. And my opponent has defeated the first Pokemon. So he gets to claim a prize card. He takes the top one, which is Cinderace. That's a very good card, and it goes into his hand. And now it is my turn. So I start by drawing a card. I got an energy. I have to put a basic Pokemon into the active spot. So I'm going to go ahead and use Indeedee. And I will attach an energy to Indeedee. And I will play the Helping Hand attack because I can't do Psychic at this point. So it says search your deck for a basic energy card and attach it to one of your benched Pokemon, then shuffle your deck. So I get to look through my deck, find an energy, and I'm going to attach it to Staryu, of course. And then I shuffle my deck, and now it is my opponent's turn. So my opponent has taken his turn, and on this turn, he attached an energy to Cinderace, and he also evolved into Cinderace from Raboot. So he's got that ready to go on his bench. And he's going to go ahead and attack with Victini again with another energy burst. So he still has the 3 energy attached to this Pokemon. And Indeedee has 1 energy attached. So 4 times 30 is 120. And unfortunately for me, I only have 100 health. So I have to go ahead and put the energy and this Pokemon into my discard pile. And my opponent gets his second prize card. This time it's a trainer card, Professor's research, and it goes into his hand, and now it is my turn. So I begin by drawing a card. I got an energy. I'm going to go ahead and put Hatena onto my bench, and I am going to put Staryu into the active spot. I will go ahead and attach an energy to Hatena. And Staryu will use its very weak attack, the double spin. Flip 2 coins. This attack does 10 damage for each heads. So here's my coin here. Tails. And tails. So I do 0 damage on this attack. And now it is my opponent. So my opponent took his turn again. He played the supporter card Hop, which allowed him to pick 3 cards and put them in his hand. He did that. He went ahead and attached an energy to Turtonator, who's on his bench. And then he's once again going to use Victini and his energy burst attack, which will once again do 120 damage to me because it's 30 damage for each energy that's attached to either Pokemon. He had 3 energy attached to Victini and 1 to Staryu. So that's 120 damage to Staryu, which doubles the health that Staryu has. So he's been defeated. After his attack, it's now my turn, so I draw a card. It's another energy card. I'm going to go ahead and put Hatena into the active spot. I'll evolve Hatena. And I will attach another energy to Hatchram. Hatchram now has 2 energy, and I'm able to do the brutal swing attack. It says flip a coin. If heads, this attack does 30 more damage. So it does 30 automatically, and then if I get heads, it does 30 more damage. So here's my coin, and come on heads. And we'll pretend it was heads for the sake of this video. So that's 60 damage to Victini. I counted my damage counters that were already sitting there. There's 130 already done to Victini, so 60 more is 190, which thankfully is just enough to defeat Victini. So Victini has now been defeated. It goes to my opponent's discard pile. And there's a special rule for defeating a V Pokemon. Instead of the normal 1 prize card, I'm able to claim 2. So I've got 2 trainer cards here, and they go in my hand. My opponent has defeated 3 of my Pokemon, so he has 3 prize cards left. And I've defeated 1 of my opponent's Pokemon, but it was a V Pokemon, so I was able to claim 2 prize cards. So my opponent is ahead of me by 1. And now it is his turn. So my opponent has gone ahead and taken his turn. He played the trainer card, supporter card, Dan. Just kind of a fun one. It says draw 2 cards. So he did that. And then he and I played rock, paper, scissors. If he had won, then he would be able to draw 2 more cards, but I won that one. So he drew new additional cards after the first 2. Put this in the discard pile. Then he went ahead and he moved Cinderace to the active spot and used his ability. It says once during your turn, when this Pokemon moves from your bench to the active spot, you may attach up to 2 fire energy from the discard pile. So you went ahead and did that, searched through his discard pile, found 2 energy, and attached it. Now it has a total of 3 energy, and he's able to use the devastating Flare Striker attack, which does 190 damage, and then he discards 2 energy from this Pokemon. So 190 damage is more than enough to defeat my Hatterem. That goes to my discard pile now. My opponent is able to claim an additional prize card. You got the level ball here. And I think here is a good time to end the video. With my opponent firmly in control. He only needs 2 more prize cards to win. And I hope you've enjoyed this video and have learned a lot. I'm going to try to put together a couple more videos, maybe describing how decks are built and where to find them. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye.